Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. And today I'm going to cook sweet and sour vegetables, an absolutely delicious recipe that my family love. First off, I'm going to show you some ingredients and tell you a little bit about them before we make the sauce, and then we'll go over to the stove and we'll do a bit of cooking. Right, ingredients first. Soy sauce. When you use soy sauce, you can use the dark one or light one. It's entirely up to you. Once you've opened the soy sauce, keep it in the fridge and it will keep for a couple of years, as long as you make sure the lid is tight. Right, sweet chili sauce next. Now, sweet chili sauce is delicious, but they do have different strengths of chili in them. So have a look, check the bottle if it might be too spicy for you, or you might like it spicy, entirely up to you. Right. Ginger. How do we store ginger? The fresh ginger. I love using fresh ginger. Really good for you. In a plastic bag like that, expel as much of the air as you can. It will keep for a long time. If you have cut the ginger, then put it into a kitchen toweling like that. Put it in a container in the fridge, and that will keep for a long time as well. Chilies. Now, rule of thumb, the bigger the chili is, the less hot and spicy it is. The smaller the chili is, like these bird's eye chili peppers, the spicier they are. I love chilies like this. It's up to you again. A bit of lime, which I'm going to squeeze into the sauce afterwards. And I put the cling film on. Now, if you were doing this with the lemon, then it would stop the pips from falling out. So it's a good little chef's tip, really. You just put a little knife in there like that and squeeze it out. Okay, so come on down here and let me show you the ingredients first for the sauce and how we make the sauce. Right, in here I've got 2 tablespoons of sweet chili sauce. In here I have 2 diced up cloves of garlic. In here I have 1 to 2 tablespoons of soft brown sugar. I have 2 tablespoons here of white wine vinegar. In this one I have tomato ketchup, and I have 2 tablespoons of tomato ketchup, or passata. I like passata, but again, it's up to you. And in here, I have 1 heaped tablespoon of diced up fresh ginger, chopped fine. I have some soy sauce, just 1 tablespoon of dark soy sauce, because as I said, it can be quite salty. And in here, I have some corn flour, 2 tablespoons of corn flour. And I have 300 milliliters of pineapple juice. Now, first things you do to make this sauce, and this is the sweet and sour sauce bit, is you take 2 tablespoons of, or 3 tablespoons, depending on what you want, and you stir that into your corn flour. Now that's ready for when we stir fry our vegetables in a minute. Mix that well, and when you've mixed it well, it will look like that, which means it's all dissolved. Now, so simple and delicious, this recipe. So, what do I do first? I'll tell you. Put the sugar in, put the garlic in, scrape it all out, sweet chili sauce, scrape them all out well, your ginger. Now, remember, recipes are just guides, so if you want to leave something out, you can adapt it and put your own recipe. Sometimes great creating your own recipes. There we go. But this base will give you a good starting point to make some delicious vegetables with sweet and sour sauce. Now in with the vinegar. So basically you're just putting all the ingredients that I've just shown you into the saucepan like that. In with that. Now, if you come back down to this, I'm going to show you this now. And that is what your sauce should look like. We are now going to take all of that over to the stove with my vegetables that I have already diced up, and I'm going to show you how to cook them. So I will see you over at the stove. Right then, let's start cooking these sweet and sour vegetables. Now, I showed you all the ingredients for the sauce. They're all in the pan. I brought the ingredients to the boil. That's been boiling for about 2 to 3 minutes. Now, the corn flour, which we mixed together with the pineapple juice, is now going to go into the sauce like that. And I am going to get my whisk, and I'm just going to give that a little whisk. Now, that will instantly start to thicken up. Now, at this stage, you bring it to the boil or the simmer for about 30 seconds. That's all it needs. Leave it to the side while you cook your stir-fry vegetables. So, all done, and it absolutely smells Oh, that smells delicious. The ginger, the garlic, it's lovely. I also, bit of a chef's tip for you, I sometimes use a lemongrass if I want a bit more of a Thai flavour, and I put them in to let that infuse for a bit while I'm doing my stir-fry veg. I also like to use some coriander stalks. Now in Thailand they would use the stalks, they wouldn't waste anything to do with the coriander. The top bit is for my garnish, this bit's for my sauce. I'm going to put that in there, and that coriander adds a beautiful flavour to it. So we've got a bit of a Chinese sort of Thai sauce going on. Right, now we'll push that to the side, and now we're going to start the vegetables. So let me explain a little bit about how I've done the vegetables here. Now, I explained earlier that we were going to do lovely veg and the way we were going to cook them. Now, I've blanched these to save time, because if you've got something like a cauliflower, it can take quite a long time to stir fry, and I just want to be really quick. I want to keep all the crunchiness to the vegetables and all the flavour and the nutrition from the vegetables. So the baby sweet corn blanched, the broccoli blanched, the cauliflower blanched, and the French beans are blanched. I've got some pineapple here, fresh pineapple, optional. But I like the fresh pineapple through it. I've got some pak choy, I've got some peppers, and I've got some red onions. Now get your pan hot. I'm using a good quality oil, vegetable oil, but you can use peanut oil if you like. That does heat to higher temperatures, and that's why a lot of chefs cook with the peanut oil. Oil in the pan, get it nice and hot. First is I'm going to put in the onions. So in with the onions, always push the onions away from you, because obviously you don't want to burn yourself. And I'm also going to put the peppers in at the same time, because I don't need to cook these onions for a long time. So let that cook. Let it sweat a little bit. I better put my fan system on so the wife doesn't tell me off. And we'll sweat that down. Now, as you can see, I haven't put loads and loads of oil in there because I don't need it, because I still want to cook those just nicely, but without loads. And if I want to add some more oil, I just go around the pan very gently like that in the wok, or the pan, and just let that cook. Now, that will take me about 30 seconds to cook. So stir fry, little flick. I often get asked about how you flick a pan. Now, point the pan down and pull it to you. A lot of people tend to take their woks and their pans off when they're stir frying. You don't really want to do that, because if you take the wok, what happens? You take it off, there's no heat on it, and you want the heat to cook the vegetables, so leave it on there. You can use a wooden spoon, plastic spatula, whatever you like. Now they're almost cooked. Now at this stage, I am now going to add my cauliflower, which is going in. I'm going to add my broccoli, and I'm going to add my sweet corn in there as well. Give it a quick flick, back on the heat. And oh, look at that, it's looking delish already. And now we're just letting that cook all the way through, and that will take about another 30 seconds, and that really is the beauty of pre-blanching those vegetables. Now, the French beans are thin, so they don't take long to add to it. Now, you can add any veg you like. I've used French beans because I like the crunch. I've also got some sugar snap peas here, which I don't actually cook at all. I like them al dente, which is nice to the bite, and I don't think you need to cook them. They're just delish. So in with my French beans, in with my pak choy, few of the sugar snap, snow peas in there like that. If it needs a little bit more oil, now is the time that you just go around the outside and you just put a little bit more oil in. And another little flick, and then back. Obviously you can just use that as we said, give it a good stir, and this will take me about 30 seconds. While that's cooking, I'm going to explain to you about the garnish I'm going to use. Now, I like to finish it with some sesame seeds that I've toasted. I also am going to use the coriander that I talked about earlier, and I'm going to sprinkle some nice coriander in on top. Okay, here we go. Now they're cooked. So at this stage, I am now going to put my sauce in. So if you want to come back down here with me, and I will show you. Now there's our sauce, and the smell is absolutely stunning. Now, in with my sauce, this will do, the quantity I gave you will do enough for 4 people. Now I'm just sweating that down. I've done that look absolutely delicious. Let that cook in the sauce for about 30 seconds. Now I did say to you earlier, if you want to add fresh pineapple you can. I'm going to add it because of that flavour. I love the freshness of the fresh pineapple, but you could use tin. And we're almost there. Look at that. Now, all that remains is for me to plate this up. So I'm going to push that to the side for a minute. Sweet and sour dish is done. I'll get my plate. And then I'm going to show you how to plate up. And let's get some of this beautiful vegetables. Oh, delicious. And we'll just put those on there like that. All that pineapple. Pile it all up. It's a real treat, this. A lovely vegetarian dish, lovely served with egg fried rice. You try this, I will guarantee you won't be disappointed. And I love lots of sauce, so I tend to I like it quite saucy. We're almost there. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the garnish that we talked about. So on with my sesame seeds over the top. There we have it. And I'm now just going to put on my coriander. And then we're done. Do that. And then all that remains is for you to come and see me while I eat some. Oh. Excuse me for a second, I'm having a moment. Absolutely delicious. All those flavours, very fresh, lovely, really good for you. So, hope you've enjoyed this. Enjoy your sweet and sour vegetables as much as I do, and happy cooking.